Thought I'd talk a little bit about photography today, since I'm an injured reserve, and this is the culprit. This is my Arbor pocket rocket that tried to kill me yesterday because it's only 27 by 7 inches, and it's a little bit on the danger zone. I built up this land yachts, which honestly is such a higher quality deck. It's almost shocking. Not as pretty with the glass mat, but this thing is, obviously haven't used it yet, a beast. But that has nothing to do with this. This is my Donkey camera bag. It's basically brand new. I've been using these for about 40 years in my professional career. I was fortunate enough to work my entire life as a professional photographer in some medium or another. Dog's going crazy. At times I've had side jobs and side gigs when I get a little bit bored of portrait photography, but I've consistently worked and made a living from photography my entire life. In that time, I've never once spent a penny on advertising, marketing. I've never had a business card. I've never offered my services to anyone. The entire thing was word of mouth. And that was a really nice way to go through life. I just didn't have to worry about stuff. And I retired a couple years ago. I don't have gear anymore. I have a tiny amount of gear. When you do portraits, you don't really need much stuff. For the last 10 years, I've been shooting with a fixed 35 lens, not on this particular camera. This is a 23 APS-C. And 10 years before that, I used a 50 millimeter equivalent. And so I'm used to having a fixed lens like this. I've also had the X100. I've had several of those. I had the X100T. And they're all really neat cameras. You know, whenever people ask me what kind of gear do you use, I always say the gear doesn't matter. It's kind of a lie. When I was shooting sports, I was using Canon. When I was doing hardcore photojournalism, I was using Leica. The camera does matter. As a retired person, I thought, I've carried a camera bag for 40 years. Maybe I don't need to carry a camera bag anymore or a camera. And so I tried to get rid of all my gear. And that was a really hard transition for me. You can take pictures with an iPhone, but you don't really make art, or I didn't. And so it took me a very, very long time to get over just having the phone. You know, as an artist, you could paint pictures with a broomstick, but there's going to be no creative outlet for you. You're not going to satisfy any of your needs or urges. And so I thought, well, the X100, I don't know what this is, the 6, will solve all my issues. And it does, but it doesn't quite do it as well as my XT3, 4, or 5 did. And that was my first step into mirrorless cameras. And I really, really enjoyed that once I got used to it. It was about a 1-year transition for me to get used to mirrorless. And once I did, I'm never going back. So anyways, I got this. I might keep it. I might sell it. It's a gorgeous camera. It takes amazing pictures. It's just a little fiddly for my broken brain to use. I thought I'd go through my minimalist setup since I don't have any gear anymore. You know, I've been very fortunate. I was about 18 years old when I realized and I was taught that the entire system is rigged, and it's all rigged against us peasants. So live your life and have fun. And that's what I did. And so here I am towards the end of my life, and I'm hurt because my skateboard tried to kill me. Every single day I do something stupid and fun. And so today it's going to be boring. I'm going to go through my camera bag and show you what dumb stuff I carry as a retired photographer. I don't know what model this is. This is almost a toy camera bag by Donkey. It's actually my favorite. I can fit my XT5 in here, or soon to be 6. It'll go right on the top. If I carried extra lenses, they would fit in here. I don't. And the 50 millimeter format or equivalent is by far my favorite. And that's because I'm a portrait photographer. It's tight and it gets challenging. This is 23. And I find that when I jumped to 23 from 50, it was a very difficult transition. I used 23 or 35 forever. as a professional, but then I went away from it for a while and went to the 50, and now I'm back, and 35 is really the format that I'm going to use. So when I do upgrade this camera gear slightly, mostly for size and dexterity, it will be to probably 35 or 40 millimeter, somewhere around there. And then I don't really carry anything else. And since this is here, I'm just going to go through, and to put this into perspective, I have my passport within grasp of my front door with $10,000 in cash in it. If some big news thing happened that I wanted to cover, I can run out the door with nothing but my passport and cash and what is in this bag. And I can cover any news event that any other journalist with any other amount can cover, and I'll do it fine. I also have a bug out bag that I'd like to have with me because that has the clothes and a jacket and food. Anyways, this is a complete setup for anything that I need to do short of the Super Bowl. And it's really tailored to point and shoot, which is all I do now. Cigars, I've got a cutter and matches because there's always a cigar somewhere close. A lighter. I like soft flames for my cigars, and if it's too windy for the matches, I'll use this. I have torches. I can't see the torch, and so it's a challenge for me. And then my astronaut pen, which writes upside down. This is, again, one of my most prized possessions. I love this thing. So this is a traveler's journal. I don't go anywhere without my journal and my pen. I might have a smaller journal, but I'm always writing stuff. And then this is, Kimchi got me this for me. It's so neat. It's just a leather thing. You can put anything in it you want. There's little strappy things and whatever. In the back, I've got a bunch of pages, and this is just stuff that came with it, and I use it to mask when I'm gluing in cigar labels for my cigar journal. And then I have this plastic rulery thing. Anyways, I think that was $5 and this is $5, and it just tucks in. And then in the middle of this, I just have a little bit of cash, which used to be able to do something with a $50 bill. I feel like I have $50 bills in all my bags, and none of them have any use. This is my range journal. So it is what it is. I take account of everything. And then I've also got my cigar journal here where I just go through, and every time I have a new cigar, I pull off the label if I can, and I glue it in, and I take notes. I can't read my rating. It's more of a process, but this is fantastic. And you can make these, I like mine small and thin and light. You can make them to any form you want, a big, thick, whatever, and it just pops right in there. And then, of course, gaff tape, because I'm a photographer. I carry gaff tape. Back in my working days, I always carried a flask, but I don't really drink, certainly not in public ever anywhere, but I don't really drink. Maybe a glass here and there. Like tonight my back is aching, I'm gonna have a glass of whiskey. Some form of cleanliness. The smell of blood and iron and the drone of flies, but I've been covered in more people's blood more oftentimes. The little things you do to clean yourself gets those flies, and as bad as the smell of iron is, the constant droning of flies over your head is even worse. So carry some kind of human diapery things. And then, of course, my little charger. And I do have spare batteries somewhere, but I don't even carry them with me. This camera will go no matter what I do for an entire day. And plus, I can oftentimes get a week. I was trained on film. 24 pictures is a lot. 48 is even more. If I shot 34 or 70 or 36 or 72, that's an insane amount. My editors would kill me if I did anything and brought even more than a third of a roll, let alone a whole roll for one assignment. So I don't shoot a lot of pictures. I do a lot of thinking and looking. That, I believe, is... Oh, and then I have a little card reader thing. I don't know what you call it. I've got a computer somewhere that is pull the chip, stick it in here. You can plug it right in. I think I probably lost the cord. That's strange. Shoot. Yeah, there's a cord that I can plug this into. It didn't come with any form of charger, and I can plug it in and charge the battery from here, which I guess I probably lost or threw away or something. And so I just pull the battery out and charge it. And then I don't know who makes this. This probably isn't the highest optical quality on earth, but it seals this and makes it waterproof as they can do it. And it's strong. And I mostly do this to keep from damaging the front element. Let's talk about my complaints about the 100 system, because there's really not that many. This stupid open exposed lens is the dumbest crap I've ever seen. Why can't they seal that? It serves no purpose to have it unsealed. then I have to take a bunch of stuff off and put a bunch of stuff on. And if I want to change or do whatever, it's kind of a nightmare. And I don't really understand the system of why they do that or what the benefit is. But this is a good camera. It's a 35 millimeter equivalent. I put this on, it's water resistant. I've gotten my cameras really, 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 really wet, and I work on the ocean. And so a lot of times that's salt water. You can't kill a Fuji. I haven't been able to kill a Fuji. And this is the same one. This is a lot of people with the little thumb thing, which makes it more convenient. Growing up with a Leica, I hold the camera in my left hand and push the button with my right hand. So as a left-handed camera, I don't need or want the big grip. A lot of people have gotten, like, they start at the big DSLRs and then they hold it like a trigger or whatever they call it. And as the grips get smaller and smaller, they need more leverage. I always have this camera in my left hand and then do that. And then if I'm actually using the manual focus, which why would I? I don't. And then I use the aperture ring all the time, which I love. This camera seems to be happiest on 2.8, which is really 3.4, whatever it is. It's slow as shit. It's still a great camera. This will do anything you could ever want to do for your entire life. And while I don't ever plan on taking professional pictures again, as long as I live, I find that the iPhone is just soulless. And while I do a lot of really, really neat snapshots, I do a lot of deeper snapshots. And I love my whole goal in life. I love photographing kimchi. I dress her up in little Japanese dresses and take her out on the beach and do whatever we do. And that's kind of just stuff for us or for me. This camera will do everything I need. It's plenty fast enough. And then, of course, I take pictures of my dog. All my best pictures of my dog were taken on this and my X-T5. And so I'm transitioning after completely getting rid of all my gear, which was stupid. I should have put it in the closet. But I was like, I'm done with cameras. I'm retired. And so I had to pull them all back out again. And now I get to buy an X-T6 when it comes out, maybe or maybe not. I don't really plan on ever getting rid of this because it fits in your pocket when you need it to, and it kind of does the role. And now that I'm sitting here on injured reserve, I'm hoping to have a lot more time for photography. I don't know how long I'm going to be down for. I was going really fast down a hill on my tiny skateboard, which I love. I can't believe I was actually wearing shoes and wrist guards and a helmet. And I kept hitting gravel. I was thinking, man, this street's never this dirty. I'm going to eat shit. And I went up on the curb and I jumped the curb and I just bang in a hard left. And I heard the noise. I'm like, oh, this is going to hurt so bad. It was like slow motion, me flying through and I landed right on like I said, you're C6? I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, right on my ass bone. And my butt cheeks hurt. My upper spine hurts. I sprained my wrist. I'm too old for this shit, but I'm not going to give up. I absolutely love skateboarding, and it's one of those things I've done as long as I've done photography. They're both parts of my life. So even if I'm not getting paid or working in a professional capacity, I will always have this gear and carry it with me. You never really know when you're going to get that $1 million shot, even if it's just something you can hang over your kitchen sink. And so I like to have my gear with me, and obviously I love to take really pretty boat pictures. And I don't really want to try and review a camera because I just wouldn't know how to, but these Dom keys, my first one I carried for 15 years, it literally had bullet holes through the side pockets. I had it over my shoulder, and people were shooting us because that's what jerks do. And it would chew right through my Snickers. I remember I reached in to grab it, and it was so hot they'd always get melty, but I pulled my hand out, and it was just covered in chocolate. I'm like, what? And I looked down, I'm like, oh man, they killed my Snickers right through the camera bag. Anyways, you know, they get kind of grimy. They're just canvas, and you got enough blood and guts and Snickers and dirt and funk on them and tears. And they just get really, really, really nasty after a while. And they cost about $100 or $200. To put it into perspective, an average box of cigars costs about $300. And so they're dirt cheap. They last forever, and they're highly water resistant. They conform to your body. Like whatever is going on, it just kind of sucks around you. I can pick it up like a football, wrap it in my arms, and run a 100-yard dash if someone's chasing me or bad stuff is happening, even with my big one. And they just kind of suck into your body. And so I will always carry my gear in a Dom key, although a lot of times I just free carry to throw over my shoulder. But if I'm carrying stuff, I'm carrying it in a Dom key, and I don't carry any of this stuff that photographers carry. I carry a journal. Sometimes it's a really tiny journal, a pen, in my camera. And I don't know, going over the years, I've probably had maybe 40 to 50 catastrophic camera failures. Honestly, in this day and age, Amazon will bring me a new one on a drone. So I'm really not worried about anything. I just don't care about redundancy. If my camera breaks, I'll buy a new one and I'll move on. There's nothing in my life anymore that's that important, that if I miss a day of shooting, I miss a day of shooting. And of course, I still have my iPhone. So this is me from the couch reporting. I'm leaving in one day to go camping, and that's going to be a whole nother ball of worms because we have both decided that we're too old to camp and that we don't want to do it anymore, and that we would like to get a Sprinter van. And that is why we have the camera gear. Oh, let's turn it this way. Because we are going to photograph, and we want to get a video quality camera that's a little better than the iPhone, a little deeper and richer. And we want to start doing stuff with our camper van because sleeping on the ground sucks. But first I sleep on the ground, then I crash my skateboard. What next? I don't know. But we're leaving. I've got to go to a top secret thing for a friend of mine. And then the second that's done, put everything in the mail, and then I'm out of here. All right, that's it. Have a good weekend. Talk soon. Later. Okay, I'm going to do that again.